When we understand that nothingness is not meaningless and nothing, let's go deeper and discuss a scene that sounds like a science fiction novel, creating matter from nothing, which is simply ridiculous. How can matter come out of nothing? However, the quantum mechanical Schweiger effect tells us that not only can matter appear out of thin air, but even the universe can appear out of thin air. We just said that even in the most perfect vacuum, there are tiny quantum fluctuations. We only need a little external force, or more precisely, the electromagnetic field, to amplify these tiny fluctuations and create real matter. How can this be more like a science fiction movie? By focusing your mind between your hands, you can create energy. Let's understand it with a metaphor that is closer to life. Imagine that you have a very soft rubber membrane. It looks calm and waveless, but if you magnify it and observe it under a microscope, you will find that there are always some tiny bumps and bulges on the surface. These tiny bumps and bulges are like quantum fluctuations in a vacuum. They're very short lived, appearing and disappearing, seemingly without any impact on the overall situation. Then, when you apply a very strong force to this membrane, such as pressing it suddenly with your hand, these tiny bumps and bulges on the membrane will be magnified, and even cracks will appear. At this time, the tiny bumps and bulges corresponding to virtual particles are magnified into obvious cracks corresponding to real particles. This process is the core of the Schweiger effect. Through a strong electromagnetic field, virtual particles that can only exist briefly in a vacuum are turned into real particles. For example, electrons and positrons. If you add a strong electromagnetic field to the vacuum, can this state still be considered a vacuum? Isn't the dynamic magnetic field a form of existence? Our arm distinguishes between ordinary vacuum and quantum vacuum. The quantum vacuum we just talked about is not empty. Even in the state of no external interference, it is full of tiny fluctuations of the quantum field.